I'm here, of course, with former New York Ranger, current Anaheim Duck forward, Carl Hagelin. Hi, Carl. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Linda?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. West Coast's treating you well. You look good. It's a different kind of style. How has the adjustment been for you?
I mean, it's been good. It's a great organization. A lot of good guys on the team that really helped me with the adjustment of coming from the East Coast here to the West Coast, and obviously didn't get the start we wanted as a team, and that affects you as a player as well. I didn't play my best, and but as of lately, I play better, and so has the team, and it's getting better.
That's cool. What's the biggest adjustment you think you've had to make of all the adjustments that you had to make going from the East Coast to the West Coast?
I think the game's a little bit different out here. It's a little bit more controlled. I think out east there's a few more 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s, a little bit more speed maybe. And here it's bigger players and more controlled. So I think just being ready every night to put in the work that it takes to win games.
I want to talk about, I'm doing a whole thing about being a fan. I mean, obviously, my fandom with the New York Rangers. It's one of the big reasons why I'm in sports as it is, because when you grow up being a fan of sports, you want to be attached to it. So who was responsible for getting you started in playing hockey?
For me, it was my dad and my brother. My dad's always loved sports in general, whether it's soccer, hockey, or even football. And he was a coach when I grew up. He was coaching my brother, so I was able to watch my brother play a lot of games. And then I got on the ice. I didn't love it at first, but
why not?
I don't know. I think my dad gave me skates that were too small, so I was skating out there and it didn't feel right, and I was just falling everywhere, started crying. But then I tried it again 6 months after, and I loved it.
That's cool. When I talk about the fans, when you think about the fandom of the New York Rangers and those fans, and then you compare it to what the Ducks fans bring, what's the difference?
I think just like the lifestyle, I think it's a little bit more intense in New York than it is over here. People are a little bit more laid back here. You don't get as many boos if you don't score goals when you should, and fans in New York are a little bit more. If you walk around the street, they'll be all over you and start talking to you, which is great. Here they're a little bit more relaxed. They'll just walk by and say, "How you doing?" and then they keep going.
Right, that's true. When you got involved in hockey, and like you said, you're a big sports fan because of your dad and your brother and such like that. Who are the teams that growing up you rooted for?
I mean, I liked Peter Forsberg growing up, so I was a big Colorado Avalanche fan. And
nice.
My brother and my dad, they were Nick Lidstrom fans, so they liked Detroit, and that was a big rivalry. Yeah, so and that made me like Colorado even more. So, but other than that, I had my hometown team, Sud Italia, where I played during the lockout, that was the main team, and that my goal in life as a kid was to play for that team,
wow.
Which I did during the lockout there. So
that's very cool. So you reached 2 goals already, that team, and of course, and then in the NHL playing there. And what's interesting about that rivalry with the Avalanche and the Red Wings that you were, at least as a child, really involved in, and here you end up going to college and playing for Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And even though you rooted for the Avalanche, Avalanche, and then you weren't a Lidstrom guy. That's Detroit.
Right.
And what about Michigan? Is that something you still follow and close with the school?
Absolutely. Football's been really good this year, and hockey's obviously got off to a good start as well. So I try to read up on it as much as possible. I haven't been back there as much as I want, but with New York, we made it to the playoffs, pretty deep into the playoffs. So my summer's been pretty short, and I hope to keep making it deep in the playoffs. And I guess that's my excuse for not being back in Michigan.
Yeah, no, that is a good excuse. Although I'm sure you'll have an open invite.